The Fed has recently announced a 0.75-point rate hike, which is supposed to help us curb inflation. Consumer advocate Thomas Lipscomb here alongside financial and insurance planner Greg Berrien. We're going to try to tackle this topic. Now, recently, and I have my notes here, Mike Wilson, who is the U.S. equity strategist and chief investment officer, said on CNBC's Fast Money that all the jumps we're seeing in the market this week and last week may be a trap and should be something that we should be eyeing with a little bit more hesitancy. I wanted to get your opinion, Greg, because this is something that you deal with every day. What are your thoughts on all this?
It's he's saying we're not out of the weeds,
yeah.
and we're not out of the weeds. You can't ignore the fact that the inflation rate's so high, that the debt is so high,
yeah.
And what they're looking at also is, there's very low unemployment, there's jobs for everybody out there, so it's
interesting.
It's really it's kind of like in the twilight zone. We've never ever really been there.
That's right.
But what a lot of people don't realize is when these interest rates hike up, a lot of the folks out there, a lot of you folks out there that have your 401ks out there, of course, the equities are doing okay right now. They're holding their own. But the older folks whose advisors put them into the bond market,
mm-hmm.
Okay, the bond market's directly affected by the interest rates.
That's right.
And so these poor folks that are getting ready to retire, they're getting destroyed by the bonds that they bought for safety. That's not true safety.
Well, and we were talking about, before we turned on the cameras here, news that's going down right now about how we're not wanting to call this what it is. We're trying to redefine recession. And so if you don't mind, just for our listeners who may not know, what is the classic definition of recession?
A recession is when you have negative GDP growth 2 quarters in a row. Look it up. It's in the dictionary, Wikipedia, anywhere you want to go, Thomas. And that's what a recession is. You can call it anything you want.
And this is what we've just wrapped up, is that second quarter, isn't it?
You can call it cherries and lollipops. It's for all I care. A recession is a recession is a recession is a recession.
It is. It absolutely
It's just a weird
is.
one.
So let's talk about that then. If we're not wanting to call it a recession, but it is what it is, something that we like to focus on, obviously, is retirement planning. And so for those people who may have wanted to retire, 2022 was your year, you wanted this summer to be your last summer of work, or maybe this fall, do you have any advice for someone who may be in that situation right now?
Seek true security, seek true safety, seek options that you're never ever going to lose money on, period. That you're going to be able to take advantage of the market when it goes up, and you're not going to lose money when it goes down. That is the only true safety that you have in your 401ks.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Once again, we're here with Greg Berrien. He's with Capital Financial. If you have any questions for him and the team, do reach out. We're happy to sit down. We keep availabilities on our calendar for our listeners and viewers here. So go ahead and call on in. You'll be able to sit down with Greg personally or virtually, however you like to do it, and make sure that you have your questions answered to make sure this tumultuous and crazy market doesn't affect you more than it needs to.